podcast starts now. What's up, everyone in the world? Woo! You are listening to StraightioLab. That's right. Welcome. George, how are you doing?
I'm coming out of the rubble. I have dirt and mud all over my face and naked body. I'm wearing a sort of rag skirt that I fashioned out of the leftovers of human civilization.
Yes.
I am in The Last of Us, and I'm having there's a bottle episode, and they're gay, and I am walking around, and I'm Lara Croft, and I'm shooting a zombie.
Wow, lots of IP.
Because that's right, we are coming out of a 40-minute technical difficulty bonanza.
Which, honestly, if technology was really where it needs to be, we would have been able to record and release as an episode.
If we, and I've actually thought about this a lot, that we should not talk about our technical difficulties, because it's sort of like one of those things that's like talking about your dreams, like no one actually wants to hear it, but you think it's interesting. But despite that, I think this one is so major that to not address it would be journalistic malpractice.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact, like, I actually think 40 minutes of technical difficulties is like up there with like the longest running technical difficulties someone can have.
I would say it is the longest an event of any kind can possibly be, is 40 minutes.
I mean, honestly, if I saw a play that was titled 40 Minutes of Technical Difficulties, I'd be like, I want to see that play. Like, it's
true.
Such a significant amount of time
true.
that you're like, there must be some human truth that is uncovered within this 40 minutes. It's like, yes, it's about technical difficulties, but it's about humanity.
Of course. I mean, 100%. I do wonder if it's one of those things where, everyone thinks they can make a play about a dinner party gone wrong. And they're like, oh my God, genius idea, dinner party gone wrong. And then most of them are actually bad. And I wonder if, it's the sort of narcissistic tendency when you're in the midst of 40 minutes of technical difficulties. You're like, this is about humanity. This is about chosen family. This is about queer life. This is about...
It's about trauma.
Trauma, neoliberalism, the O'Biden era. But yet when you see other people having technical difficulties for 40 minutes, you're sort of like, can you pick up the pace?
Yeah. What's this about, mama? I think you're bringing up a really interesting point, which is that like actually plays about dinner parties are so good when they are good. And obviously they're bad so often, but it's so unfair that if I tomorrow were to be like, I actually have this amazing new idea. Yeah, it's about a dinner party. And people would judge me. People would say, oh, like all those other bad ones. And I'd say, no, like one of the good ones, actually.
Yeah.
And it's so unfair that people assume you're writing the bad version of the thing and don't assume, oh, you're going to do like one of the good ones.
Well, you know what you have to say when you go into that meeting. People are going to, it's a dinner party, but it's about class differences. And then people are going to throw up from being excited.
It's about class differences. And, oh, of course, we address race. Needless to say, we address race. I thought it was my role to address race.
It's an all-white cast, but it's about white guilt. So in that sense, it is about race.
Yeah, because I wanted to address race, but I wanted to stay in my lane. So it's about white guilt.
Yeah, I mean, we're addressing race. We're not like delving deep into it. It is being addressed.
Oh, you think white isn't race? Well, that's actually racist.
Oh,
that's actually racist.
Oh, so you think
white's not a race?
That's actually so racist to think white is the default and is not raced and classed.
That is so
when
racist.
You realize that white is raced and classed, that means that an all-white play is political. It is radical.
It is pure satire, raw, uncut satire, could not be tamed satire. And it is saying something very fucking true.
Oh my God.
I am honestly like, I feel it's funny to be like doing the opening thing right now because we've literally been doing quote unquote the opening thing for 44 minutes. And so
I have aged my hair. I actually got a haircut right before this, but now I need another haircut because of how long my hair has grown.
Yeah, you're looking very like Gandalf-y at this point. Like it's all gotten really
it's
long.
actually, it's been so long since I've eaten. It's been so long since I've eaten that people are like, what's your secret?
Yeah, you're gaunt. You're snatched.
People are like, is he on Ozempic? No, actually, I've just been having technical difficulties for 40 minutes.
Yeah. I hear a lot of celebrities are actually like having technical difficulties for over 40 minutes in order to lose
Yes,
weight.
it's actually having technical difficulties is like the euphemism in celebrity circles when someone like loses a mysterious amount of weight. They're like, oh my God, what is wrong with her? Well, she was recording a podcast and the mic would not work.
Apparently it was 40 minutes. And it's like, oh, well, that explains why she looks so good.
40 minutes. And she didn't have access. The fridge was in the other room and she didn't want to unplug the headphones. So she didn't eat for 40 minutes.
Oh,
well,
my God.
I sort of think that we can get this dinner party started, in my opinion.
I agree, too, because it's...
What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's chosen family. It's family only.
It's all white.
Wow.
It's all white, so in that sense, it's about race and class.
So yeah, I think we should definitely start this commentary off on the right foot.
Yeah, exactly. So give it up for Aaron Jackson.
Hi.
Aaron, how did that make you feel?
I felt good. The openings are always really hard because you want to jump in with some 3 points from the midpoint of court.
Yeah.
3-pointers. But you can't. You just have to let that wash over you.
Yeah.
But I was a big part of the technical difficulties was me. I was a lot of the journey.
I'd say 100% of it.
Well, in fact, it wasn't 100%.
Yeah. Well, no, George, it started with George.
So this is what happened, is the first 10 minutes were me, and I felt so guilty because I was like, oh my God, they are in that Zoom, and my Zoom kept crashing. They're in the Zoom, they're waiting for me,
Right.
And I am being annoying. Aaron has a hard out. Like as we've learned, he came into our dinner party, and I'm sort of, it's like when you enter a dinner party and the host is still sort of wearing slippers in the kitchen, and you're like, well,
right.
I did come 20 minutes late to avoid this, but. And then when I finally did enter the Zoom, I realized, oh, my little Zoom thing was a sideshow for the main event, which was Aaron's mic not working.
George was coming in, whenever the satellite would choose to let him in to talk to us, and he'd be frantic and sweating. And the whole time I was telling Sam, like, don't worry, I will have a huge problem. I always do. And it turned out to be true.
Well, and I was really...
That's okay.
That's okay. And but I was like, oh my God, Aaron is being so humble. Like, one of the most prolific artists of our generation. And I was like, he is just like trying to make us comfortable. And he's like, yeah, my tech always messes up. I thought it was like wink, wink. And then it was like, oh no, you're not kidding. Like your tech really does fuck up.
And then like going to Google and looking for the answers, and Google's like, I don't know, girl.
well,
you also did this thing.
Pig.
You did this thing, which is very sort of astrology adjacent, which is you were like, I'm one of those girls who always, I take my laptop to the Apple store and they say, we've never seen this before. That's me. I'm always the one where something doesn't work. I'm like,
it's true though.
You're like, I don't know. Like, is that a personality trait? Like, can that be something that comes from within?
I don't know. And maybe it's self-fulfilling, but like, we're trying to go through it. It's like, pull down this thing. It doesn't even say what it's supposed to say. It doesn't give me the things.
No, there were things that were, I would say.
It's crazy. It's my lived experience.
I mean, it is sort of it's a tech version of Munchausen.
Yeah.
Where you sort of will it into existence. You think you're like, I'm sick. And the doctor's like, you're not, sweetheart. And you're like, okay, well then why do I have like a third ear growing out the back of my neck?
Isn't Munchausen when they like keep you sick?
No, that is Munchausen by proxy.
Got it.
Yeah. So Munchausen by proxy is like, I have a daughter and I lie to everyone about her being sick.
Yeah. And you're like, gently, it's Sixth Sense where like she's poisoning her.
Sort of.
I mean, that was murder, but like,
wait, Sixth Sense is not about that. Oh, wait.
There's one long section where he's like learning how to deal with dead people, and he goes and helps close the ghost's unfinished business.
Of course.
And it's what's her name from the OC.
It's Misha Barton.
Misha Barton.
It's Misha Barton.
That's who Haley Joel was helping.
Yeah.
And then dinner parties, I just wanted to say, I wanted to bring up the play August Osage County. There's a really good dinner party scene in that.
Yes, absolutely.
The whole thing's a dinner party scene, right?
Well, no.
Not the whole thing.
I would say it's actually about family, not about a dinner party. That play. And a dinner party, it's just like within the family, there is a dinner party. I think also every play is like about family. And that's the same thing. Like, I'm about to write a play. Guess what? About family. And the dynamic is complicated. The dynamic is complicated.
You better believe one of them that escaped to an urban center is going back to the family home.
And they got thoughts.
I guess Osage County is one of those plays that, although it's of course a classic, modern classic, contemporary classic, all I can think of is Meryl in the trailer.
Yeah.
For the film adaptation.
And Julia Roberts, I didn't even see the movie, but them in those wigs is very like seared into my mind as well.
I mean, it really is. It's like, it's Meryl being like, and I never wanted to be a mother.
It's sort of her Big Little Lies season 2 acting, where they're like, just go for it, Meryl, just go.
Yeah.
They sort of, I'm sorry to say, they sort of stopped directing Meryl around 2007.
Yeah.
It's she's getting carte blanche.
Yeah. Meryl Unleashed.
Yeah. And actually, Carte Blanche is also the name of my all-white dinner party play.
A la carte blanche.
A la carte blanche. Wow.
Well, my technical difficulty was that my upstairs neighbor kind of throwback started playing guitar really loud. And while you guys were sort of riffing it up, I had to text him.
You have his number.
At this point, Sam?
Yeah, we text.
That is the least of our worries.
Yeah, honey. Honey,
at least that'll give us a soundtrack.
Yeah, what would I give? What would I give?
What would I give?
What would I give? It's a big popular
Welcome
game
to
show.
What Would I Give? The new game show.
I'm like, okay, SNL is calling right now. They're like, can we have that?
SNL is quaking.
I'm putting it in my packet. Hold on. Write that down.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Okay. So I have a story, which is that my dad made the craziest joke.
Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
Do you want to hear it?
Well, yeah, we have to now.
Okay. I was sort of planning on leading with this, and then we got carried away. So we were talking in the family chat, and a friend of mine from high school, she's marrying someone. She's engaged. She has a fiance. And my dad was like, what does he do? And then my mom was like, he works at the grocery store. And my dad was like, what does he do at the grocery store? And my mom was like, I don't know, stock shelves. So then my dad goes, so would you say he's shelf employed?
Oh my
God. That's genius.
And I was like,
that's incredible.
That is the funniest thing I've literally ever heard.
That's like from the joke, like 1001 jokes.
It literally, and also talk about commentary on class. Like to sort of turn that on its head. He works at the grocery store stocking shelves. Oh, so he's shelf employed.
That's
something
really
that, a sort of a rich entrepreneur would
That's
say.
an amazing thing to say. I'm like, okay.
Is he retired? How do you have time to think of these kind of clever quips?
He's actually Adam Sandler. He's a really
Oh, congrats, by the way.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I knew you were a Nepo baby.
Yeah, I'm one of the classic Nepo babies.
Well, that must be like really hard. Your dad making really incredible jokes. I bet that's a lot of pressure on you.
Oh my God.
Can I actually tell you something? So as Sam knows, I did a show recently where it was a small, sparsely attended show. I did not do especially well. It was one of those back to earth moments where you're like,
grounding.
Well, day to day, of course, I think of myself as one of the top celebrities globally.
Yes.
But then often, you'll do one of these small shows and it'll bring you right back to early days, as they say on Love Island.
Early days.
And I was not getting a lot of laughs. And I did something which truly, talk about a sign of desperation, is I was just like, I need to say anything. And this was the day that my dad texted this joke. So I was like, you know what? Here's an idea. I'm going to do a sort of joke where the bit is that I am upset my dad is funnier than I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to tell this story about the joke my dad told. I tell that joke. The way it gets the only laugh of my set.
Wow.
So he ate.
Cannot be overstated. He ate.
He ate.
And I did attribute it to him. So you can't say that I stole jokes like some people we know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then after the show, someone came up to me and was like, literally just talking to me about how good my dad's joke was. She was just like, you know what I loved about your dad's joke? Like XYZ. And then she didn't say anything about the rest of my set.
Wow. Wow. Being brought down to earth like that is cruel. I actually think when you have a successful podcast, and yeah, we have a successful podcast, sweetheart.
I mean, there's no way around it.
Completely.
I think you should never be allowed to do a bad show ever again, actually.
Yeah.
I know. It's so weird when to bomb. It's like, why? Why
strange.
am I bombing? What's going on?
It's like I speak with authority constantly. Like, I don't think this fits in with my narrative.
Yeah. Like a lot of times if it is like one of those sparsely attended and you're in like a very bad room, like the room is actually like a pinball arcade or something, you're like, nobody could kill like this, of course I'm bombing. But when it's just like good old fashioned a theater and you're right on there and you're like, okay, well something's up. I don't bomb anymore.
But then the other thing, oh God, yes. No, of course. 100%. And I have so much to say about this. I wonder if talking about stand-up is, if our listeners
it's
care.
classist.
It's classist, of course, because not everyone is a comedian, aka wealthy. So, but what I wanted to say is, the other thing with, doing one of these shows that is in one of those rooms, which as you say is like impossible. You're like, there's no way anyone is going to do well. I have just seen 3 people in a row do poorly. And by the way, this is no longer about the specifics of this show. If anyone's listening, I love the 2 people that hosted it. It's not about them. This is just a general
and what a beautiful room
comment.
That room is.
And what a beautiful room that was. And I'm actually getting married there tomorrow.
Congrats!
And everyone's invited.
Yes! and just to add to that, the people that host that show, I just want to say thank you.
Yes, no one thanks hosts.
I want to say thank you for creating
yes, and I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for having me.
Right.
I look forward to potentially getting Venmo'd for the money that they raised via bucket. So
via bucket.
Basically, my point is sometimes you'll do one of these shows and it'll be like person after person bombing. You're like, all right, I just have to basically put in my time. I know I'm going to go up there. I know I'm going to bomb, but I'm going to do it like a champ. I'm not going to be annoying on stage and be like, wow, you guys really hate me. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do my set and leave. But then what happens sometimes is suddenly someone goes up and actually does do well.
And then that
hurts.
really dark.
And then you're like, oh, I see. That's a pro. Like this is, and that's when you brainwash you gaslight yourself into thinking actually what comedy is quote unquote all about is killing in bad rooms.
No.
Oh wow.
That's so
You know
not
what
what
I
it's
mean?
about. There was actually
That's a different scale.
There was a period in my life where I was the person that was good in those rooms, and it was like not a proud moment because it was like I was like training myself only for those rooms, and it was like you need to stop.
Yes. And can I tell you something?
just stop.
Same.
Like you need to think a little bit bigger. Imagine the room is half full. Like
Yeah.
let's try to imagine a better world, because then I would do like crowded shows and I would bomb because I wouldn't know how to like speak more general like to the audience. I would literally point to people.
You needed like awkward turtle vibes. You needed crickets chirping.
I needed literally
that,
awkward turtle vibes to succeed, and I needed like for everyone else to be failing for me to come up and crush. And then it was like, no.
You're like, I must go forth. I have to go forth. I need 3 people to fail. Yeah. Oh God, I used to tour with improv of all things, and you would and like on the same tour, like one night you'd be in a theater that was like 800 people sold out. They're all happy to be there. You like absolutely murder, destroy. And then the next day you're truly in a burger restaurant, like in front of a hockey game. And everyone is like visibly angry that you're even there. And you're like, huh?
Yeah. Something people don't realize, like the concept of a ambush show.
Oh,
I think the average listener might not understand what that means.
Truly.
What that means is that someone starts, quote unquote, starts a show that has a lineup every week, like a stand-up comedy show that has a lineup every week that they promote on Instagram or in the olden days Facebook, that they, you know,
Or the paper.
or the paper. They send it around to the list.
Time Out
Free
New
and
York.
cheap in New York. Time Out New York.
Yeah.
Free and cheap in New York. What's the other one that's like The List? Or what is it
Oh,
called?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Anyway,
I know what you
whatever.
mean.
and so you're, you know, let's say you're booked on the show, you're a comedian, you show up, you're like, okay, like, where's the back room where we're going to do this show? Honey, come to find out, there is no back room. It is simply a bar where people are there on dates, on work drink events,
To have
having
fun.
a birthday party, to have fun, having a drink by
You have to watch a
themselves.
fucking show.
And the premise is simply that the show just starts.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it is a double sort of mental illness of
Everyone loses.
everyone loses, of course. A, thinking it's okay to do that. I'm talking now as the person starting. A, thinking it's okay to do that. And B, actually treating the patrons like they're heckling you and being like, can you guys be quiet? There's a show going on.
And
And
they're
they're
like,
like,
I'm
well-
just at a bar.
I'm just at a bar.
I feel that way. You know what community has this illness in spades is the drag community.
Oh
Because you
my
will fully
god.
be at a gay bar and then like suddenly you're in a drag show and the queen, of course, wants you to watch the show, but you're like, I am so not in the mood to watch a show. Yeah, I love drag, honey. I go every night of the week. But there are sometimes where you're just wanting to have a drink and talk with your friends and you're like, fuck, we're in a drag show. And then they are mad at you. You are like now forced. It's like, let's leave.
Yeah.
And that community has that illness.
Yes, the queen, while performing, will be giving you a dirty look.
Yeah.
While also just being like, and I am telling you,
Yes.
fuck you. You know,
Yes.
just like,
They also have a thing where like, even if you're there to watch the show, if you get up to piss, a queen must be like, oh, where's he going? Oh, to suck a cock. And you're just like, I am coming back. This is a 90-minute show. I'm drinking alcohol. I have to pee.
yeah. Much like stand-up, it's also part of drag culture. So it's almost like
Yeah.
you have to be okay with it because of course a queen is going to be a little bitchy.
Right.
And of course a comedian is going to shut down a heckler.
One time I
Go
literally
viral doing it.
go viral doing it, of course, for the likes. Well, I one time literally went into a famed gay bar, Metropolitan, and it was like a Wednesday evening, and there was like an experimental drag show happening, and I see it's like pretty well attended and people are paying attention. And so I'm like meeting someone in the backyard, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna rush through this and like try not to make a scene and like let the show go on. And of course, I'm like speed walking through, trying to make as little waves as possible, and the queen starts like chasing me and doing like a like thing with her
And
hands.
puts you on a cross, nails you to wood.
Literally is like making
makes an example of you.
fun of me walking quickly. And it's like, oh my God, like I'm actively trying to be respectful. I'm just meeting someone for a drink. Like,
performer to performer, girl.
It's also
I'm
like,
part of your tribe.
babe, I'm part of your tribe and I could fucking lift you up with one retweet. I swear to God, I could change your life with a single quote tweet. And you are disrespecting me? I'll never share your story. Know that, Miss Legend.
No, that.
I could change your fucking life.
Slay.
The tension between an LGBT performer and an LGBT audience member can be cut with a butter knife because basically every audience member is like, it should be me up there, and every performer is like, fuck you to everyone watching.
Why does no one want to fuck me?
Yes, exactly. There is no solidarity between audience member and
This
performer.
is literally, you know, like Gay Bachelor, where it's like they try to do Gay Bachelor, and it's like, well, there's the gay guy, and all the gay guys are competing for the gay guy.
No.
It's like it doesn't work because there's no difference. Like the gay guys can just anyone can become the Bachelor by just being horny in that moment.
They need to do more, like, they need to rethink that Gay Bachelor show and do it more like Bachelor in Paradise, where it's like you can get voted off at all times for like not being in a couple. Like that is such a better idea for it because it's like that. You cannot just have one guy and have a bunch of other guys be like, I don't like him.
And the person voting anyone off should be like Kylie Minogue. Like it has to be not. It has to be a completely different.
Dua Lipa.
It has to be Dua Lipa.
No, I would love it if like the moment you became unhorny, you got kicked off the show.
Oh yeah,
it was like, it's like
That's
no,
really
no,
good.
it's Horny Island. You have to be
You're
horny
constantly
the whole time.
edging. You're like, I can't come, otherwise I'll get kicked off.
Oh my god, it's literally called Edging Island.
Oh my god!
This
and it's
is
always
good.
the last. Okay, should it be the last person who came or the person who hasn't come the longest gets voted off?
God, that's really hard.
That's really hard.
Because it's like, how do you test if they're not horny? They have to do challenges to prove they're horny. Like they release a bunch of wet men and you have to wrestle them.
Prove that you're horny. Only a horny person would know what to do with this, and it's like just an object.
Yeah, and then it's at the end when they're eliminating them. It's like, Brayden, you have been soft the whole time.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm more of a bottom.
Take that flaccid cock back to Indiana.
And Brayden was a fan favorite. That's what was so sad.
Oh my
That's
god,
so
of course he
sad.
was. Of course he was, because guess what? The audience at home doesn't want to sexualize.
Yeah,
No.
So they liked the soft one.
yeah.
They like the soft one.
But they need to be
He
taught a
was safe to
lesson
them.
that this show is sex positive and horny positive.
Yeah, exactly.
Sex positive. Okay.
Well,
All right, well.
damn, call Hulu, I guess.
I can't believe we like talked shop. We talked
Oh,
about
I
I know.
I think it's obviously gauche and tasteless and shameful and
No.
but I think it's so powerful to sometimes actually acknowledge that we are comedians.
I agree.
One time, oh my god,
even to ourselves.
even to ourselves. George, I don't. The coffee's hitting right today. I'm mile a minute right now. We were out to drinks recently with two dear friends who will be on the return to the podcast in like a week or two.
Congrats.
Oh my god. Yes. Wait, I know exactly what you're about
And
to say.
we
Yes.
were out, and this girl came up to us, and she was like, pointed to the two guests, and was like, "Oh, you guys are comedians, right?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then she pointed to us and was like, "And you guys are podcasters, right?" And my jaw, I literally left and was sad. I was like sad.
I just want to say, Sam is not exaggerating or editorializing. That was word for word what was said. And
You
then,
guys are
but then,
podcasters.
Sam, you missed the final part of that, which is she's like, "You guys are comedians, right?" They're like, "Yeah." "You guys are podcasters, right?" We're like, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Well, keep doing what you're doing." It was like not. At no point was
She wasn't like, "I think you're funny."
Did she say like, I'm a fan, I love your work," or like, "I've listened"?
To the comedians either? Was she complimentary?
Either.
of
Yeah,
them?
either. No.
That's so weird.
She just wanted us to know that we were being watched. She was literally like, "Just know that I know you."
That's very like, ugh, it's sick.
Well, it's also strange because then you're like, so then how did you pass by? Maybe she was at a bar where one of us was at one of these shows and she left immediately, but did clock that we were on stage.
Well,
That's so weird.
the implication is then that she did see us and has listened to us and just didn't really like it that much. I think that's what
Yeah.
the takeaway is.
But she told you to keep going.
Right.
So that's really nice.
She's like, "Work on it, babes.
Yeah, keep up the work. Oh god, I want to talk shit right now so bad.
Oh,
but I can't.
Please, is there a way to do it where we can bleep out names?"
No, it's just like so many names. It would just be like
Okay,
for 4 minutes.
replace the names with like celebrities.
Oh my God.
No, it's just hard.
Ugh.
It's hard to get this.
Okay,
story.
fine.
Wait, another thing that happened to all of us, the three of us, we were also with comedian and non-podcaster Josh Sharp in LA. And we were all there all four of us were there having drinks after work. And then, was it the woman that came up to us?
No.
The guy.
The gay friend.
The gay friend comes, yes, that's it. The gay friend comes up to us and he's like, "Hey," and we totally thought he was about to do something like that. Like, "Are you guys comedians or something?" And then,
Oh, I thought he was going to hit on us, not to be conceited.
oh, I truly thought he was going to be like, what, like a podcast.
Oh, I see.
fan.
Yeah.
One of those.
I've heard, yeah.
I've heard of them. But what did he say to Josh?
Well, he said to Josh, he was like, "Are you single?" And Josh was like,
Right.
"No." But then it became clear, the twist was that he was coming on behalf of his straight woman friend to ask Josh out heterosexually.
He was wingmanning a heterosexual.
He was a gay man wingmanning a straight woman, going to a group of gay guys.
Clearly
I'm
gay
sorry,
guys.
the vibe was literally
The guy was so gay.
The vibe was so gay. We all had our legs crossed around our other leg, literally like 5 times each. We were like Miss Elastic.
Feather boas, half in and half out of our
Feather
drag.
boas. We look like Harry Styles.
Harry Styles in Paris is Burning.
Yeah. Each of us had a full look from the Gucci lookbook, head to toe. And we were just going around being like, when was the last time you sucked cock? Yesterday.
Yeah.
You? This morning. You? Just now in the bathroom, mama.
Mama girl. I just couldn't believe it. And then it was like, does he think we're all straight? Or is it like Josh is clearly out with his 3 gay brothers?
His 3 gay friends. And that's right. And that's how we know he's like sensitive.
3 gay identical brothers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But really also the fact that it was like, it's one thing for a woman, let's say a woman who doesn't have a lot of gay friends to misinterpret.
Of course.
But for the gay guy, this is a
it.
gay guy who is looking at us all night, and he's like eyeing us, and he's like, which one is right for Marcy? And he's like, that one. As we are literally like, our wrists are literally double jointed the way they are moving up and
We're
down
like
and flopping.
Pinocchio, the strings dropped. So gay and limp.
Like Pinocchio. We're all puppets.
I would love if the reveal was that like actually he is straight and we all are just assuming that he is gay, but actually he's like, no, straight guys can be really effeminate too, you know, like just like you guys. Like that. I'm straight like you guys.
Just
that's
tea. Maybe that was it.
Maybe that was it.
I mean, really flamey straight guy.
You know, that's one of the big differences between New York and LA. In New York, gay guys exist. In LA, they don't.
Well, in LA, weirdly, gay guys are straight. And straight guys are gay.
There's a weird thing going on there. It's like Europe. You just can't tell.
Yeah. It's just so different.
The rules are off. It's so different.
Yeah, Europe without the burden of all the museums.
Hello.
Hello. Wow, the burden. Yeah.
Europe from the back of an Uber.
The burden of intellectualism.
No, they have the Broad.
Yeah, which
they have the Academy Museum.
Yeah, you can touch Judy Garland's Oscar.
Her juvenile Oscar.
Her juvenile Oscar.
What does that mean?
Well, she was a child.
She won a smaller Oscar, and it was like Best Juvenile Performance for The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they had those.
They don't anymore.
And then when they force fed her pills, they would hit her over the head with it.
Wow. Well.
Wow.
Ooh.
Dark.
Sorry.
Ruh-roh.
Okay, so our first segment is called Straight Shooters.
Oh, I can't believe we went there with Judy
I can't believe we went there. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was wild.
I do want to apologize to our listeners. You come to this podcast to hear something specifically that does not go there. And that has been one of the central tenets of this podcast, is that we do not go there. And I think we have failed in our mission.
Yeah. Sorry we let our guard down for a single second.
Yeah, it's not who we are.
We're probably talking about Judy Garland's juvenile Oscar when that guy came up and tried to ask if we were straight.
Yeah, he was like eavesdropping, and he was like, Judy Garland juvenile Oscar. Okay, he's straight. He's
super straight.
That's a straightie. He's gonna pound my girl out.
Well, it was also funny because he was like, are you single? And then Josh was like, no. And then we all at the same time were like, we're all both partnered and gay. And he was like, got it.
Wow.
And it just goes to show you, you can be out and you can think that you're being gay, but you can always gay it up more.
That's the lesson.
Yeah, we think we're living out loud, but actually we're still in the closet in many ways.
Humiliated, ashamed.
It's whatever. It's insane. We should do our first segment.
Whatever.
Yeah. By the way, we're all offended, and that was not like a fun story. We are deeply angry about it.
Really.
Yeah.
And we
to be clear,
in the process of a major lawsuit with both the city of Los Angeles and that one gay.
I'm actually surprised that.
And even
No, go for it.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, it's too gone. It's awesome, but it's gone.
No, say it. Were you gonna say even the bar?
I was gonna say
or-
even the guy's girlfriend.
Oh
Even
yeah.
the
Well,
girl.
she's suspect number one in this
Yeah.
case.
I'm worried about her taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to litigate.
Oh, you're worried about her taste because she was attracted to your comedy partner Josh?
No,
Interesting.
oh my god, of course not. It was that she would be into any of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it definitely is like she needs to do some internal work. She needs to like. It's
Yeah.
like she's like, no guy's ever into me, and it's like, no girl, every guy you think is straight is like literally the gayest person on earth. Like,
Yeah, you're literally hitting on Troy Sivan.
Yeah.
Like, let's go back to the drawing board.
Oh, Troy.
Troy.
Who's Troy then?
I don't know. He'll be back though. Maybe he'll
He'll be
come back
back.
as
I'm
a
not-
bear.
Yeah, he'll be back on an upcoming episode of StraightioLab.
Let's do our first segment.
Okay,
Oh my God.
Aaron, our first segment is called Straight Shooters. And in this segment, we test your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture
Okay.
by asking you a series of rapid fire questions where you have to choose this thing or that thing. And none of them make any sense. And the one rule is you can't ask any follow up questions.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'm prepared.
Aaron.
Sam, take it away.
Aaron. A half pipe, a quarter pounder, or an eighth?
A half pipe.
Aaron, happy birthday, Mr. President, or you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Ooh, I think you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Aaron. If you know, or how low can you go?
Mm.
How low can you go?
Aaron, the boy who cried wolf, or this girl is on fire.
This girl is on fire.
Aaron. Slip and slide, wet and wild, or hot and heavy?
Wet and wild.
Oh.
Aaron, I need you to pay attention to this one.
Okay.
Being the bassist for Nirvana or being a racist at the sauna?
Being the bassist for Nirvana.
Okay. Aaron. Doctor Who, Professor what? Or Officer huh?
I'm gonna say Officer Huh.
And finally, Aaron, Angela Bassett did the thing or Viola Davis, my woman king?
Viola Davis, my woman king.
Slay.
Slay. Wait, so now can I ask a follow-up question now that it's done?
No, because we have not scored you yet.
Oh,
and
okay,
I
sorry.
think that you get a score of 932 doves out of 1,000.
So true.
Doves.
Yeah. Okay, now you can ask a question.
Well, I guess I was just wondering. So I was picking to me what I thought the straightest answer was.
Yeah.
Is that what I was supposed to do?
Well, so obviously you're thinking about it wrong. This is a test. It's sort of like it's about how someone approaches it rather than any sort of rules.
Gotcha.
So we want to see confidence, we want to see playfulness, we want to see evolution from the first to the last question.
Definitely.
We want to see a narrative, and we also want to see someone make their own rules, develop them, adhere to a certain consistency, and then break them.
Yeah, you got to break the form.
Yeah.
Hello.
And a lot of, I'll say it, these comedy types, they come in here and they're like, oh, how can I win? Oh, how can I be right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's
Competitive.
not. Yeah.
How can I get on a list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
is Vulture
Yeah, is
listening?
Vulture here?
Yeah.
This vulture here.
And it's like, no, you're completely missing the point if that is the case. And honestly, it makes me sad. It makes me question sort of all the artistic choices you've made leading up to this moment.
Totally.
Yeah, they've been brainwashed by, just for laughs. They think they're going to get new faces.
Yeah.
And what we're looking for is interesting faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even old ones.
Or even old ones. And it's also the difference between playing a game, you know, and having a performance. You know, this is it's. I
think I'm gonna say it's the difference between playing a game and being played by the game.
Oh. No, that's
you're
not
still
right.
thinking about it in a capitalist way.
Yeah, something about that seems wrong.
It's very calculated. I'm coming at this like a villain.
Yeah. Shoot. Dang it.
Dang.
Aaron, I sort of I'm very interested in the topic that you brought in because I have resisted asking callback to the concept of follow-up questions. I resisted asking a follow-up question when you mentioned what it was. And I just sort of trusted you that it's going to be a sleigh and a half.
Well, I'm sure it won't.
Well, before you introduce it, I want to say something.
Well, not with that attitude.
Something that I thought was funny. Something I thought was funny about this topic is that before you said it, you were like, well, people have probably already done this. And for you to think this is obvious.
So, yeah, I was sort of like, oh, is it going to be baseball or wedding?
Yeah, I was like, oh, is he going to say like frats? And it's like, okay.
Fraternities,
right.
You have to now say what the topic is, please.
Okay, so my subject about straight culture is straight couples weaponizing oral sex.
Okay.
That's what I brought to the table.
So to me already, I'm thinking, a Valentine's Day gift that's like one free blowjob. Or a sort of like, well, on his birthday,
that's exactly it. It's it's very like I'll hang out with good straight friends that are in long-term relationships, and people will be like, they'll say something like, oh, it's his birthday's coming up, he's gonna want a blowjob, I have to give him one. And I'm like, you only give one blowjob a year.
Yeah,
that is very shocking to me. And then that it is a gift that you give, and it fully like, I hate this.
Yeah, I don't want to do this.
And for that to not be a turnoff for the man.
I know, but then he's like,
for the man to be like,
once a
year,
gotta. I gotta do it. But and then also, I do believe women, and they should, like, I think they get oral sex a lot, like before sex,
like a warm up,
because it's like preparation.
They receive oral sex.
Yeah, they receive oral sex
yes.
before like penetrative vaginal sex.
Of course.
And I do think that some men like to give it to them, but I think sometimes it is like, I have to give her the oral sex so then I can have the penetrative. So even that is like it's always a weapon. It feels like nobody is wanting to do it. I know that's not true. I know there are parties on both sides that love oral sex in the straight world, but I'm surprised by how I find that to be common, and oral sex is like a thing for them that I find so straight. I feel like gay people don't have that. There are gay people that are like, I don't care about oral sex, but it's never like weaponized, I feel like.
Well, also, oral sex is part of this very straight concept of foreplay, which is like, it would never occur to me to delineate between foreplay and the main event.
And play.
It's like, sometimes, it's like,
they're all the same thing.
Sometimes you do one thing, then you do the other, then you go back to the first thing. Sometimes you only do the first thing, sometimes you only do the second thing. It's not necessarily always the best when you do the most things, or or it's like, I'm not skipping something because it's just like, sometimes I'm in the mood for one thing, sometimes I'm in the mood for another thing. But there's a sort of, it's like, well, okay, is everyone in their places? Action.
And it's like, so is it always the same? I do feel like porn, it like starts a lot as like making out, and then it's like, we trade blowjobs, or just the top gets a blowjob, and then the top like eats the bottom out, and then there's anal, and like that's how it goes. But it's like, that's not how sex. It's not always that narrative. And oral sex to me is sex, but not like, I don't understand like third base. Like, oral is third base, and then a home run is penetrated. Like,
oh my god, the bases. Okay, wait. So what are the bases? First base is feeling up,
making out.
I think that's second base. I think first base is kissing.
First base is
kissing. Then feeling up.
Feeling up, and potentially a hand moment.
Hand moment.
hand moment.
I like the idea of Sam.
ASL.
Sam being, or me or someone being a closeted teenager and trying to get a hand job from a girl and being like, how about a hand moment?
Should we do a moment with the hand?
Should we do a hand moment? Maybe we could start with a hand moment and move it up, move it down.
Yeah, I think at second base being a hand moment is more advanced. That's more like adult. But I think like when you're...
So you're calling me a whore?
No, I just think it's more like adult. I think when like in high school, I think just boobs is like second base, touching boobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, touching boobs.
Then oral.
Then penetrative.
Okay. And then home run, of course, is penetrative.
Yeah,
Penetrative.
yeah.
Home run!
Home
and then I guess
run!
is a grand slam group. That's when you've done groups.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're getting adult.
Now we're getting adult.
Now we're getting adult.
So, wait, I have a sort of small addition to the straight oral sex conversation, which is there is a famous, or to me famous, storyline in The Sopranos where there's
Classic.
This guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say, Sam? This guy likes going down on women. He is a straight man who likes going down on women, and like one of the women he was with like spills the tea to someone, and so then there's this like rumor that he even likes going down on women, and that's like a gay thing. So it's literally like it's the idea that you would want to pleasure a woman is like, what are you, a fag? And that's like the entire, and someone ends up being murdered because of this, because he is so humiliated.
Well, to your Sopranos point,
Yes.
Notable Italian Nick Nanny, I was asking him about that plot line because I was like, there's like, that's not real, right? And he was like, no, like older guys, like people, like my uncles would like be like, it's gay to eat pussy, like, and I was like,
Oh, 100%.
that is crazy.
100%.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's weaponized. It's like oral is so weird for them in a way that like penetrative isn't.
No, it's they're like, oh, you're going down on a woman? What are you friends with a woman, or are you Will and Grace?
So you don't want to fuck her. So you don't want to fuck her.
Oh, what are you, Stanford Blatch from Sex and the City?
So you're literally buried in her genitals and you're gay now? Like this is like so
What?
weird.
What is she your diva? Oh, is she is she the pop star you like the most? Is she your Dua Lipa?
Yeah. Do you stand
Are
her
you
pussy?
awarding her the juvenile Oscar?
Are you feeding her pills? Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like, gay people don't like put penetrative as like the number one thing always. Some do, but a lot don't. So there's so that is like we're straight people, that is sex, and for some have progressed to not think of that as the only kind of sex, but a lot don't. A couple. And so we have that. I was gonna say there's something about, how I like to appropriate straight culture sometimes, and I can find it erotic and it can be kind of fun. There's something a little bit hot about the weaponizing of oral sex, where it's like it's almost like a role playing. Like the idea of like giving the gift of sex is like very kind of hot to me.
Well, I think there's like weirdly like gay kink, I'm thinking, and I guess straight people do this too, but I'm just not as much a part of their culture. But like chastity cages on like a dick, where you're like, you're not allowed to come.
Yes.
Like you're I'll tell you when you can come, faggot. And that feels like sex to me as well. But you're not like I'll only give you a blowjob on your birthday. It's like, I'll never give you a blowjob. And that makes you horny, doesn't it?
And that makes you, but that's the thing, is that makes you horny.
Yeah.
With the straight example, it's not like that guy is like thinking about it all year long, turned on, like, oh yeah, not getting one tonight either.
Right.
Yeah. If straight people were on Horny Island, Edging Island, they would all get eliminated very quickly.
Bad TV.
Wait, Edging Island really is genius, because
It's really
it's reformulating like the priorities. It is
right.
The thing with all these like gay versions of straight shows is that they are inherently, much like gay marriage, attempting to emulate something that is meant for straight people. And the thing with this is that you're like, okay, what are gay what are gay trashy values? Like in the same way that straight trashy values are like, women falling over themselves drunk to, go on a date with someone who works in advertising. Then what are like gay trashy values? And it's like, well, everyone being horny and taking their cocks out.
Yeah.
So if you just reform it as like, rather than trying to get a date with someone, it's about whether you're hard or soft.
And I like that being like the only way to tell if someone's horny.
Yeah. No,
your dick's not hard.
Get off the damn island.
They're like, I'm more of a bottom. Well, sorry, sweets.
Yeah, sorry, sweetie.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's what someone unhorny would say. You're eliminated.
It's Dua Lipa.
Yeah, it's Dua Lipa.
Oh.
Edging Island.
Edging Island. So, Aaron, you've never weaponized oral sex?
I think so. I'm happy to give or receive it almost at any time.
Yeah, I guess same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So to recap, like in this world, it's like women hate giving oral sex and do it once a year as a gift.
Right.
Men see nothing wrong with that and are like, yeah, do it. I know you don't like it.
Right. Like, I know you hate this, but it's my birthday.
Yeah. And then men either give oral sex because for self-serving ends because of what it will lead to, or if they like doing it, they're gay.
Shame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gay panic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of like, well, you sort of understand how we got Trump.
Yeah.
When you run the numbers.
When you're
like,
the numbers.
well, this is not a healthy electorate by any means.
They're not getting blown or eaten out to the extent that they biologically need to.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it with gusto. That's for damn sure.
No. Yeah. Perfunctory oral. That's really sad.
Yeah.
Perfunctory oral is really sad.
You're like, let's call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to be here.
Yeah. If you're not gonna have fun with it, then like don't do it at all. It's like
skip it.
Skip it. Like it's like going to a restaurant. Like if you're gonna be cranky at the fucking fanciest restaurant and like not order a drink or like not get an appetizer, like don't go. Like
yeah.
You're there for just an entree.
If you're literally just getting
fanciest restaurant.
If you're at the fanciest restaurant, you're ordering a burger and you're like, I don't know, I'll have the burger. And like that's it. Like just don't go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Stay at home.
Stay at home.
Eat dust.
Jerk off. Pig.
Jerk off.
Jerk off, pig.
I'll allow it tonight.
Oh my God.
I guess it is funny how, to Sam's point about like fetishizing almost like the depressing parts of straight sex. Mm-hmm. Like, I can think of other things where it's like a classic scene in a movie, in like an indie Sundance movie, where you're supposed to be like, oh, these people are fucked, is like a wife sleeping and a guy silently jerking off like next to her. That's like, oh no, this is grim.
The marriage is over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And then if it's a gay couple, it's like, oh, hot.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is really sexy. What the hell is going on?
It's like the end of the movie. It's like really sweet.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, happily ever after.
That's how Bros should have ended.
Oh my God.
It's true.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing.
I mean,
Amazing.
I'm trying to think if there's any other angle to weaponized oral sex that we're missing.
Let's see.
You mean like using it like actually as a weapon, like a mass shooter, but it's oral.
Right, exactly.
That's what you mean?
That's how Edging Island
That's
ends.
what you said.
It's like instead of like there's like a challenge where like somebody who's like really good at oral sex is on the island. It's completely insatiable.
Bottomless throat.
Wait, finish that challenge, Sam. So
I'm
how does it end?
Imagining like
someone who's
I'm
insatiable.
Imagining like a swiper no swiping. Where it's like,
Yeah.
they're like, you have to
Little
like shoo them away,
throat boy.
and you're so horny, but you have to literally be like, get out of here, no, get out.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like a first-person shooter video game, but it's like a cock, and it's going around, and it has to get in as many mouths as possible.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe because I was gonna say, like, if you're the dick in the situation and the throat is the challenge, you just are not supposed to come. You're supposed to like take as much oral as you can forever. And then you're like, I'm still horny. Or is it that there's like an ever hard cock and you all have to be the cock sucker? And you're like, I could suck this dick forever. It's really hard to know. And edging
really-
out.
Yeah, and actually that's what the challenge is called. Hard to know.
Wow.
Wow.
Swipe or no swiping. Oral, no oraling.
I'm almost imagining it like
Or
more
throat or no throating.
Yeah, throat or no throating.
Dua Lipa's gonna have a field day with that one when she introduces it.
Throat and no throating. She's British. Right?
Yeah.
She like does it she does it just because she loves the gig. She's getting paid nothing. She does it out of the kindness of her heart.
It's volunteer.
She's like, I love my gay fans.
Today, like all days, you will be very horny.
Wait, they must have made a show like back in the highlight or like a porn parody of like America's Next Top Bottom. Like they must have done that.
Oh,
right?
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
You have to believe it.
You have to.
I mean, was it too hot to handle? Is that the one where like you actually did get kicked off the island if you had sex? Like they actually have gotten pretty close to this show already.
Yeah.
Or like there one that was really old, like back in the early Survivor days, like reality TV, very new. I think wasn't there one called Temptation Island? And it was like you went with your spouse or your partner or whatever, and then like a hot like girl or boy came and like tried to fuck you, and you like if you fucked them you lost. They're like always in a hot tub.
This is turning that concept on its head, because in our show you'll be punished for not being horny.
Yeah,
you have to
that's
maintain
true.
I mean, it's like an endurance game where you have to, it doesn't matter, you're not like punished for having sex or for releasing,
Right.
but you just have to maintain, you have to plan ahead and maintain a consistent level of horniness, and if you go under a certain threshold you will be voted off.
Do you think somebody like like deep in the game, someone's doing really, really well, and then like in Survivor, like someone searches their bags and finds a bunch of Viagra, and they're like, we have to get rid of him. He's cheating. He's not really that horny.
He's just presenting hard. But internally, I know he's not horny. Wow.
It's something
Oh
to
my
think about
God.
for sure.
That
Yeah.
is certainly something to think about. I think TV is such a beautiful medium. It's so nice that we can express ourselves.
It's a great way for storytelling. I like how long every story is on TV.
Yeah.
But it takes seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because some stories
yeah.
are short, but on TV they're long, which I think is so cool.
It's so, this is so boring, but it is so funny that people are like, ugh, a movie, that's so long. And it's like, no, the story is done in 2 hours.
Literally.
That's you get the whole thing. It's like actually quite short compared to how we like to consume now, like 18-hour stories that aren't even done after 18 hours.
No,
So like tune
they're
in
not
next
done.
year, the story continues.
What I think about the fact that they just like, they did literally just figure out TV in like the 70s through the 90s. It was like half-hour episodes for comedy, like hour-long episodes for drama, and you tuned in every week and you saw it. And nothing was wrong with it. Everyone liked it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly people were like, we have to reinvent this again and again
Yeah.
and again. And actually everything needs to be like an hour and a half long, and each of them needs to be a different auteur, and nothing gets resolved. And
Right.
it is based on an article.
Yeah. TV's over. We've said it once, we've said it a million times.
TV is literally could not be more over.
Yeah.
It had its time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it?
Did it?
God, I miss the 90s.
God.
Yeah, it had its time. The 90s.
Mama Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Look it up, children. It's an indie show from the 90s.
Oh my God.
I think we've covered a lot in this episode. We've shown that once again, straight culture and gay culture are very different. And we
Never
have,
the two shall meet.
Never the two shall
Never,
meet.
yeah.
And we have shown that TV is dead, but could be saved by a little show called Edging Island.
Seinfeld.
Sein-
Oh, Edging Island, of course.
Okay, it should be it's Edging Island, but everyone on it is like based on a character from Seinfeld. So
But only the four main, but like again and again and again.
I think you could even, yeah, exactly. Or you could even expand it to just like everyone has to come and stay in character as a pop culture figure. So it's just all gay guys, all gay BFA graduates, and they come and one of them is Valerie Cherish, like one of them is, Karen Walker,
A housewife.
yeah. Luann de Lesseps.
Yeah.
this is great because I can see people being like, well, why would I ever apply to be on the show? And it's like, well, because one, you get to be horny for 8 weeks straight.
Yeah. And second of all, one word, exposure.
Exposure, sweetheart. You get to show off your acting chops while being horny.
Yeah.
It's like Snatch Game for 8 weeks.
It's Snatch Game meets pornography, essentially.
Quite frankly.
I also love thinking that there's not enough to the show.
Yeah.
We have, a blowjob challenge. And they're like, we need something else. A hook, of course.
Yeah. You're pitching it to the producer, and you're like, okay, so it's like a school shooter, but with cocks and blowjobs, completely uncensored. The cocks are out, everyone's coming everywhere, and the theme is school shooter. And the person's like, hold on. Didn't they do that in Cheers? We need one more thing.
And someone's dressed as Reba McEntire. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it's there.
I think it's there
It's really
for
close.
sure.
It's close.
Yeah. No, I mean, it really, and I'd say, I know initially this was sort of a joke to have them in character, but it will add so much when
I'm not joking.
when these people are doing challenges where they have to remain hard for as long as possible.
As Paula Deen.
But they're dressed as Dolly Parton. I mean, as Paula Deen.
No, this is so layered. I think this will actually like come back around and be like a show
Yeah.
that like kind of changes the landscape.
Gets a lot of awards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, can I say one thing to circle back to something we said about gay performers versus gay audience members? Like, the tension inherently lies in not being able to sexualize the level to which you are able to sexualize the person that is on stage. If you sexualize them too much, you can't take them seriously as a performer. If you don't sexualize them enough, then they're dehumanized. So this solves that by being explicitly sexual. There is full-on penetration on screen while people are doing a character.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
That's why when I do stand up, I wear a really short skirt.
Yeah.
So like they can laugh at all my amazing jokes, and then they can sexualize me because my cheeks are hanging out.
Yeah, and that horse cock is falling beneath the skirt.
Yeah. And it's so short, your cock is literally showing underneath, correct?
By a lot.
Yeah, every time you perform.
It doesn't even cover my pubic hair. It's like that short.
Every time you perform. It's more of a belt, really.
It's a belt.
You could say you're bottomless.
Yeah, it's just a pretty belt.
It's just a really, really pretty belt. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Should we do our final segment?
I guess. I'm having so much fun.
I know.
I wish we could have a cocktail.
We're being so nasty today.
We are being really... There's always time for a cocktail.
That's what I was gonna do. Wait, did you know? And this is totally fine, but I think it's so. I celebrate her life choices. But Mrs. Kasha Davis is now sober. But that's her catchphrase.
Oh, so she can't... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
There's always time for a mocktail.
Well, honestly, that could be a huge, advertising campaign for her or something.
Yeah, actually,
wow.
that'd be huge for her. I just think it's really funny.
When we had Bob the drag queen on, she showed us this video that's like, Kasha Davis has this song where the lyrics are like, kill yourself with love and kindness or something, but she pauses after kill yourself. So if you take out that clip, it's just her saying, kill yourself.
That's great. Kill yourself.
Wow. So, Erin, what's the rest of your day like? Just give the listeners a peek into a day of Erin Jackson, comedy star.
I have actually a really easy breezy day, which is kind of fun. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do.
Mm.
I've been very, very social lately. That we're recording this in the month of February, which is usually a time of hibernation.
Yeah.
But the weather in New York has been quite warm, unseasonably warm for February. So I would say, I don't know why, but the past couple of weeks, I feel almost as though I have like as busy as summer socializing, which I do think is too much socializing, but I like to do it in the summer.
Totally.
But I'm like, I can't keep this up through spring and summer because this is usually the time where you recharge.
Yeah.
Hibernate.
It's really true.
That is really true.
And not to sort of talk about the weather, but it is like, it really throws off the balance of things.
Yeah. And I'll still go out, of course, when it's cold for like whatever, somebody's birthday or something like that. But it does feel like every night I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing something. I have a plan. I'm going somewhere. I'm seeing friends. I'm meeting friends. I'm making connections. I'm having an amazing time.
Mm-hmm. And that's why she has longevity, because she's out there networking. She's rubbing shoulders. She is getting in with people who are movers and shakers around New York City, no less.
Connecting the dots. Borough by borough.
And then you know what? When they have a big movie out, they say, oh, that Erin Jackson was amazing at that cocktail hour. Well, oh my God, she has to star in my film.
She simply has to star in my film. The most scintillating conversation over martinis.
Who's that elusive girl?
Who was it that was pitching Edging Island?
Who's that elusive girl whose cock was swinging out of her little skirt?
Her skirt belt.
Stop talking to me about Edging Island.
Who was that comedian whose cock was swinging under her skirt, who was pitching Edging Island in the middle of February?
In the middle of February.
From bar to bar, always holding a cocktail.
I want them to star in my August Osage County remake.
I'm working on a play. It's about family, at dinner no less, and she must star.
She must star. I'll have no one else.
In fact,
what are you doing
she's
tonight?
a character. Well,
George has a plan.
I'm going to hit the gym, and then
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to go to, I think I might go bowling, actually.
Cute. Where?
I'm sorry, Sam, excuse me?
I went bowling a couple months ago.
Sam,
George,
please tell the listeners and Erin,
Do you hate bowling?
contextualize my reaction. Just don't, Erin, Sam, please contextualize my reaction.
George texted me yesterday saying, I want to go bowling.
And then now you're like, good idea. That's manipulative.
And you're going without me?
My brother suggested it.
This is why you're going to be so good on Edging Island. You're creating drama.
I cannot believe, like, the idea that I've never talked about bowling in my entire life. And yesterday I had an urge. I was like, this sounds crazy. And I texted Sam, I was like, okay, this is going to sound insane, but I sort of am in the mood to go bowling sometime soon. And Sam was like, haha.
No.
Yeah.
I said, let's do it and let's make a Patreon episode about it.
That's a capitalist right there, baby.
Yeah, and then he said that way we can expense it. So that was actually smart.
And bowling is expensive in this town. I'll tell you that much.
In this town, I mean, the real estate.
Yeah, because you can't find a real bowling place. It's all like ironic performance art. It's like, you go there and there's a photo booth and you have to hold a sign that's like, I love bowling, ?
JK.
Yeah. JK.
You have to hold a sign that says, this is a joke.
Wow.
I was at a bowling alley in Williamsburg, I think, and like I just wanted a pitcher. I feel like when you bowl, you get like a pitcher of shitty beer.
Yeah.
The gutter?
Yeah, maybe the gutter. And they only had like nice beer, which is lovely when you just want a cup. But I'm like, I need like Modelo in this thing.
Yeah.
Like I just want like good old bowling beer. I don't need like a sour.
No, God, no.
No, I don't need a flight.
No.
Honey. Big old picture of something bad.
What are you doing tonight?
Not bowling.
Well, I am in fact attending Natalie Rotter-Lightman's solo show at Union Hall.
Oh, supporting the arts.
As a friend and colleague, I'm supporting the arts, and yes, I'm getting in for free, but my butt is going to be on one of those chairs.
George?
Hello, and you got that loud laugh,
and I got that loud butt that sort of my butt cheeks clap on the chair.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really awesome. Well, that'll be so fun.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. So. And then I might be getting a drink with Alison Leiby.
Hmm.
So I'm supporting the arts, and I'm supporting artists outside of the arts, in fact.
That's true.
Alison Leiby is one of the most fun people in the world to shit
It's
talk
true.
with. She,
Oh my God.
she is an insane shit talker. It is Guggenheim level shit talk. I love
Wow.
it. I'm
you're
like,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
like,
you are going up that spiral Guggenheim staircase. You're going down that Guggenheim staircase.
Yeah.
She is, I would say, a sort of
A master of the craft.
a master of the craft, and I would almost say, in her own way, a Fran Lebowitz type.
Completely.
You know, she also, much like Fran, has a sort of classic look. She always wears a sort of perfectly fitted high-waisted jean and an expensive cardigan or sweater or something.
And then the glasses, the hair is beautiful.
Yeah.
And like Fran Lebowitz, it's like always has an incisive point.
Yeah.
So even about something that you think is like, oh, I really like flowers, she's like, well,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Wow.
Really.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, I love that. This is a new segment, actually. It's called What Are You Doing Tonight?
It's called What Are You Doing Later?
Yeah.
What are you doing later? What's up tonight?
Oh, I actually sort of like that as a segment.
There's actually
yeah.
something to it because I think, it lets people in,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's nice to bring us back down to earth after doing a full pitch deck for Edging Island.
Yeah, that's what this whole hour and a half was.
Yeah. Well, Sam, would you like to introduce our final segment?
I would. Aaron, our final segment is called Shoutouts. And in this, we pay homage to the grand straight tradition of the radio shoutout. And we just shout out to anything that we are enjoying. Imagine it's 2001, you're at TRL at Times Square shouting out to your squad back home, but about anything that you like. And I have one that's actually based on my shout out from last week.
Oh,
a
sequel.
Kick us off.
Wow.
I have a sequel.
Well,
Yeah.
it's all about existing IP these days.
hello.
It's all about existing IP, and it'll be so important so that people will now be like, well, I can't listen to this episode until I listen to the previous episode. So obviously
Smart.
our
Mhm.
numbers are going up from that.
Yeah. By the way, previous episode with Emmy Blotnick, literally one of the best episodes we have ever recorded. And if you haven't listened to it, in the words of our peers, seek treatment.
Ah! In the words of our peers, Las Culturistas, kid.
And in the words of our peers, live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Woo! Wow, that was good. And in the words of Miss Kasha Davis, kill yourself. Okay, here I go. What's up, everybody? From the freaks to the pervs to the losers, I want to give a huge shout out to the song I Believe by Caroline Polachek. Ooh, baby, if you know me, you know I've been in a musical slump. And yes, we already talked about Caroline Polachek last week, but the album is out. And today I was walking from the train after a delightful little lunch with a dear friend. And I Believe by Caroline Polachek came on my damn phone. And I was like, I'm in heaven. I listened to that song, and it was as if I was hearing Stupid Love for the first time way back when. It was as if I was hearing those Charlie XCX songs from Crash that were making me feel so excited. I heard I Believe and I said, I feel spring, I feel summer, I feel the future, I feel brightness, I feel light, I feel joy. And I said, I can't wait to fucking see people again and be fun. And I can't wait for leaves to appear on the trees. Time is moving, we are growing, we are changing, and music is back. And yes, I've listened to the Kalela album now and I like it, and I'm listening to other stuff. I'm feeling joy once again. We have found it, girls. We have found it. Drill, baby, drill. We have found oil. It is new music. Woo! Woo!
Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
That was really good.
Did we actually introduce what the segment is?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said it's shoutouts and then.
Imagine it's 2001, it's TRL, and you are
Yeah,
Times Square.
Aaron, please don't mock me.
Wow, did I I think I not to overuse a cliche term, I think I dissociated.
I think I'm in a K-hole.
I think I'm in a K-hole. All the K I've been doing during the recording of this episode is finally hitting.
You were like, I wish we had a cocktail. Honey, I
yeah.
some K.
Yeah. Wow, I'm sorry to accuse you, Sam, of not introducing the segment. I really,
It's okay.
sometimes the K hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feeling
That
when the K
feeling
hits.
when-
That feeling when
yeah.
the K hits. Actually, mine is also music related.
Oh my God.
Love that.
Okay. What's up, girls, guys, gays, lesbians? everybody under the LGBTQ plus umbrella and even outside of it. I want to give a shout out to the album.
So inclusive.
The album "Live Through This" by Hole. This is an album I discovered probably when I was, 12, 13, whatever. I would say I come back to it approximately once every 3 months. But recently, and each time, by the way, it is more powerful. Each time I say with more gusto, Courtney Love is the most important musician of our time. She is more talented than Kurt Cobain. She is more talented than anyone who has ever picked up a guitar. And she is a better songwriter than anyone working today. And Live Through This is a perfect album from the first note to the last note. It is a series of perfect songs. It is a series of perfect lyrics, perfect sentences, and perfect. Every single person is doing exactly what they need to be doing. That has never happened before or after. And I recently sort of got back into the spirit of things because Courtney herself posted an episode of a podcast called 60 Songs That Explain the 90s. And this specific episode was about the song Doll Parts on Live Through This. And then I sort of got to listening to it again. And it gives me life. It gives me joy. It makes me believe in art again. It makes me believe in music again. And it makes me believe in women. Woo! Woo!
Wow.
It's so nice to have faith restored in women.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
As people know, I haven't sort of believed in or respected women in many years.
Many years. That's sort of your whole act.
Yeah. It's deeply misogynist.
It's weird that you bombed the other night. Like,
Yeah.
people love that act.
People love that kind of stuff.
It was weird, yeah. It was strange because I was performing in the Vagina Monologues, and my whole set was about how I hate women.
Yeah. I was so jealous when you got to open for the Vagina Monologues. I was like, damn.
Yeah. They usually don't have an opener. It's just a series of monologues. But this time they thought they wanted to stand up. They wanted to stand up, yeah.
Maybe instead of opening stand-up shows with another stand-up, we should invite people to put on 10-minute plays.
Oh, I would love that.
To warm the crowd up.
Vagina Monologue, potentially. But just a one-act play.
Yeah. Something
maybe about a dinner party.
Hello.
It's true.
Now
At least the
we're
appetizer course.
Come on. Yeah, you better come to that You better come to a dinner party hoping you get an app. Not don't be a grouch at a fancy
If you're not getting an app,
you're not doing drag.
you're not doing drag. Aaron, whenever you are ready, go ahead and hit us with it.
Hi, yay, it's Times Square and I'm doing everything for you guys. I love the people of the earth. I'd like to shout out something that I didn't really know about. I guess I knew about, but hadn't really enjoyed thoroughly. People making YouTube...
Grandma.
People editing whole seasons of reality television on YouTube into shorter chunks. Editing a whole season of a show into 3 hours instead of the however many. I just watched season 1 of Australian Survivor in 3 hours, and it's 28 episodes, but they just edited it down into exactly everything you needed to know because someone told me it was good. I really like the American Survivor. They're like, this is better. And I was like, I can't watch a whole fucking season of reality TV. That makes me sick. Someone just edited it down to the size of a long movie, and I really appreciated it and thought it was fun and a good way to consume reality TV, which you shouldn't even be consuming anyway. So why not faster? I appreciated it. I liked it. I thought that was a lot of work. Somebody sifted through this whole season of TV and made it short. So anyway, good for that person. And I realized they've done it with things like Big Brother and many other shows, which are too intimidating to me to start. And I think maybe now I will consume them in this really weird way.
Wow.
Woo!
Wow. Woo! Oh, wow.
So it didn't lose any of its
I'm sure it did, but I didn't know.
He wouldn't know.
Wow. Well, I love that.
Sometimes it would truly just be you'd be dealing with something that ended up being kind of important to the story, and then it would just suddenly be and then whatever, Sam's voted out, and you would learn nothing about it. But it was I guess Sam didn't really matter to the narrative, and then it would go on to the next episode or something.
Wow.
But it was kind of fun.
Well, I love that.
I didn't know people were doing that.
That's great.
I didn't know people were doing that either. Thank you for raising awareness.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
They should do that for, let me tell you something, most streaming shows.
Oh, truly.
Say
again, like
that.
almost every TV show, at the end of it, ask yourself, would that have been better as a movie? And almost always the answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, first ask yourself, would that have been better if it didn't exist?
Well,
Point
yes,
blank.
yes.
Straight up.
That, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Well, Slay. Thanks, Aaron, for doing our podcast again. It was such an honor and a thrill to have you back.
Thanks for having me. Did I do the first one? Was that like right before COVID?
You did like one of the, yes.
It was right before COVID.
One of the famous first 6, I want to say, episodes that we recorded in bulk before COVID in a studio that we then started releasing in March or April of 2020.
Because I do feel like it was pre-COVID, but when we were there talking, it was like, this COVID thing's going to be a big deal, right? Like it was like that close to that era, I feel.
Yeah.
Those episodes, I'm like afraid to listen to them.
Oh, I would never.
I know I said like dumb shit. I also know I literally was probably like, yeah, COVID's not going to happen. Like it's not real. Or like whatever.
Yeah. That's fine.
Ugh.
Anyway, well, thanks for having me back. You two are delightful.
It was a dream. We can't wait to have you back a third time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hat trick.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Hope you're free.
It's giving hat trick.
It's giving hat trick fish.
It's giving hat trick
fish. Stupid.
All right. Well.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye forever.